everyone. I said I'd allow myself to be terrified for about 2 seconds and then I'd have to move on. Okay. My name is James Torrente and my talk is called Figuring It Out. Please note that the MS Paint quality of my slides is not a representation of my skills with PowerPoint. It's a complete artistic decision that I decided to take today. That's my Facebook profile picture. Figuring It Out is a title I felt was appropriate because I'm at that kind of stage in my life, you know? I'm not quite a child and I'm not quite an adult. I'm between really wanting to leave home and not really knowing how rent works. And I'm between being able to vote and knowing what the point of it all is. To paraphrase the icon of our age, Britney Spears, I'm an A-level student now, but I'll be going into the wider world this autumn. Probably to uni, but potentially not. I mean, for all I know, I could fail everything. So doing GibTalks has really given me the opportunity to analyze where I'm at. The other speakers today have all achieved things, you know? They all have titles in front of their names. Teacher, theater director, minister. Whereas I feel like the only title I have is that I'm a student. I've never run for office. I don't have a driver's license. I've never even had a job. I'm 18. I'm a musician. I like to play the piano, sing, and write songs. I like the theater, art, literature, and learning new things. I suppose then it's only fair to speak to you today about what I know, what I've learned, and perhaps a little bit about what I want to do next. Chapter 1, to be young and Gibraltarian. I only realized this morning that I'd misspelled Gibraltarian, hadn't I? This is going well, this is going well. I'm figuring it out. When I was 12, I went to London for the first time. And I think what usually happens to young, ambitious, statistically inclined Gibraltarians who go to a big city is that you come back and suddenly this rock of ours isn't any good anymore. You know, it's too small, there's nothing to do. And when you get older, that eventually becomes, I want to be able to walk down the street and not see someone I know every 5 seconds. And I want to be able to go out on a Friday night and see different people every time. And getting to have more say and more choice about what you want to eat, what you want to watch, what you want to study, where you want to study it, the kind of books you want to be able to find, and the kind of musicians you want to be able to see play. Maybe the kind of job you want to get and where you want to live. When I went to a theatre trip last year, a whole week of just plays and musicals and visits to art museums and more plays, it really inspired me. I'd fallen in love with London, but then I came back and I looked up at that rock of ours as my mum picked me up from the airport, and kind of wished I didn't have to come home. I think eventually the idea of a city became for me almost like some kind of promised land of opportunity and stimulation. All the while conveniently neglecting the fact that living in London is extremely expensive, and all of the art museums and theatre experiences cost a lot of money, like and food and housing and everything. Plus, you're more likely to get stabbed there. I think the research for that graph might have been made a little bit before this morning's talk. I came back from London at that time with a suitcase full of books, with a fire in me to consume everything. I just want to read all there is to read and know as much as there is to know about all the things I love and all the great people that I admire just to those fields. But how can a young person in Gib really feel connected to all that? How do you reconcile all the incredible things that Gib is? Beautiful, diverse, full of passionate people with clearly a lot to say, with all the things that you sometimes feel it maybe can't offer you? And how do you find all the things you want without having to go all the way to a city? My mum didn't used to understand what I did all day on my laptop. Then I got her an iPad for her birthday, and since, she's never looked up. For me at least, the internet has been a place where I can find all the information and all the content I felt I could never get around me sometimes. It's where I watched all the old movies I heard older people around me talking about, like Fritz Lang's 1927 German expressionist opus Metropolis, like Stanley Kubrick's monumental 2001 A Space Odyssey, and like Tarantino's referential masterpiece Kill Bill. The internet is a place where teenagers can take advantage of what it really means to be young, which is to unabashedly love everything and be so ambitious and so in love with everything. This is an age where women can go to concerts and throw their bras at rock stars just because that's what it is. It's about sharing what you're intimate about with someone you really admire. The internet means that this is an era of hyperconnectivity, where artists from all over the world are collaborating without ever meeting in person, where massive projects can be sent from a laptop in London to an iPad in Rio de Janeiro, where the borders are virtually broken down. In some ways, the internet hasn't made us more connected. It's just exposed how connected we always were. For me, that can sometimes make the internet feel like such an intimidating place. In some way, the advantage that the internet has given me a voice is counteracted by the fact that everyone has been given a voice also. What we end up getting is a case where a young person interested in participating might find himself or herself daunted by the multitude of voices screaming out in the ether. Voices that usually have more money and more skill and more resources. I suppose what I'm trying to say is that despite all the doors that have been opened and all the channels of information that are available to the youth of today, it's equally easy to find yourself with no doors you feel you can go through. So maybe one might find the internet a place to procure their taste before they go somewhere like university to get an education and meet like-minded people. Chapter 3, why do you like that? I wanted to take some time to talk about some of the things that I like and the things that make me passionate and make me want to throw a bra at someone. all of these artists I'm going to talk about inspire me in some way and kind of embody the kind of artist that I might want to be one day. I will point out that none of them are women, which I didn't do on purpose. I swear, I'm a feminist. And loads of incredible women like Sylvia Plath, Lady Gaga, and Marina Abramovic, and Anna Wintour inspire me constantly, but I just didn't get the time to talk about them today. Oh, I'm running out of time. Okay. Number 1, Igor Stravinsky. Igor Stravinsky is widely considered to have been the single most influential composer of the 20th century, if not ever. He was part of a movement in classical music called neoclassicism, which tried to do away with some of the emotional pomp of the Romantic era and make things more structurally succinct and a bit more dissonant and a bit more rhythmic. I understand that that's boring, but there are videos of him on YouTube when he's older and he's like the best kind of old man and that he just doesn't care about anything. And every moment is like simultaneously a celebration of life and a dismissal of it. And he's at a piano and he's like playing these really ugly chords. And he's like, and of course he's like in love with everything that he's doing. So yeah, that's the kind of artist I want to be someday. Bashing away at a piano and people telling me how ugly my chords are. Next, Kanye West. Kanye West is a bit of a difficult one because he's such a prat. He's so terrible, like constantly comparing himself to Shakespeare and Jesus and Elvis. And sure, he accepted a Grammy by addressing his reputation, saying, "Everybody was wondering what I was going to do if I didn't win this Grammy. I guess we'll never know." But that's just the kind of man that he is, and it's easy to see him as a lame caricature of the braggadocio typical of rap music stars, or just as a child. But he makes such beautiful things. Like, look, he put ballet together with rap music because he understands that there's no real connection. There's no real difference between them. Look how pretty that is. Look at it. Okay, and then Salvador Dali. Oh, my time's up. Okay, I'll keep going. Okay. Salvador Dali is best known for his melting clocks and his tall elephants, but perhaps what he's least known for is his jewelry. Salvador's jewelry is many of the things you might expect of Salvador Dali. It is intensely beautiful, intensely strange, incredibly unnerving. But what he makes clear and what's written on the wall of his museum in Figueres is the fact that he's just an artist and he can do whatever he wants and he can make jewelry if he thinks someone's going to get something out of it, or if he thinks he's going to get something out of it. Look at it. It's so pretty and strange. Salvador inspires me to keep myself open to the possibilities of my mind. Usually it's easy to stop yourself and go, no, that idea's stupid. No one's going to understand that. And base your opinions of your own work on the hypothetical opinions of others. Basically what I'm saying is that if you can, just be Igor Stravinsky, just be Kanye West, and just be Salvador Dali. I stand on the shoulders of giants, but there have never been more giants around, more icons and more teachers. Thank you very much.